everyone, and welcome to The Take. I'm Elizabeth Wagmeister.
And I'm Clayton Davis, and we're here to give you our take on some of the week's biggest stories. Back together again. We have a big week with a lot of news. Nicki Minaj, Emmys are coming up. We have a lot to discuss.
You know, live events are back despite COVID surging. You said the Emmys are going to be this weekend in LA. We also had the Met Gala, Venice Film Festival, Toronto Film Festival, the VMAs, the return of Broadway in New York, the return of Bennifer 2.0, by the way. But since I mentioned the Met Gala, the biggest story from the event actually didn't happen at the event. It happened with a star who decided not to go. Nicki Minaj said that she would not be attending the Met Gala because there is a vaccine requirement, and if she's going to get vaccinated for COVID, it won't be for the Met Gala. She said that she is still doing her research, and then she went on to say that her cousin in Trinidad will not get the vaccine because his friend who got vaccinated, his testicles became swollen, and then his wedding was called off. Yes, this really happened. It's been heard around the world. Now, by the way, Nicki Minaj has nearly 200 million followers on her combined platforms. She is spreading misinformation first and foremost, and she's casting doubt on the vaccine. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but what's your take, Clayton?
First of all, let me say, it is not wrong to have questions about the vaccine, about science in general. If you want to do your research, you're allowed to, that's fine. But to cuddle up to Tucker Carlson, of all people, the anchor at Fox News who spreads misinformation all the time, and say that, you know, he's the one that's talking the truth, this is not what anyone should be doing. And anytime someone gets criticized for saying something that is flat out wrong, the celebrity, the person that gets questioned, tries to find some backup, and that's not the place you look for backup, is there.
Yeah, you know, this has somehow turned into this debate over the freedom of choice. As you said, this isn't, in my opinion, over the freedom of choice. It just is about using your platform wisely. When you are a rapper, maybe leave the medical opinions or casting doubt to the scientists and doctors. That's my take.
Yeah, there you go. But in other news, Warner Brothers lost one of their big pony boys when it comes to the box office. Christopher Nolan, the Academy Award-nominated director of such films as Dunkirk and The Dark Knight Rises, has taken his next movie, which centers around World War II, and is going to Universal Pictures with it. This is huge. His movies have grossed billions of dollars for the studio. A lot of people feel that this was a response to the HBO Max and Warner Brothers hybrid that they had announced the day and date of the releases of the films in 2021. They are not doing that in 2022. And to be clear, Tenet was not part of the HBO Max Warner Brothers day and date hybrid. So it got a traditional release, lost $50 million at the box office, rough estimate. This now moves him to Universal. We'll see what happens there. But I think this is maybe a loss for Warner Brothers, but he has been known to be a very particular director about what his films look like.
And you know, he was one of the most vocal detractors of this HBO Max hybrid model. And at least in a way, you could say he's putting his money where his mouth is. He didn't just talk the talk, he's actually walking the walk.
Absolutely. But listen, you lose a Nolan, you pick up a Mirren, because Helen Mirren now will be hosting a Harry Potter reality show competition for TBS, HBO Max. It is every nerd, you can hear them like just going crazy about it. Dame Helen Mirren is obviously just a great presence to have on any franchise. But this is big news because, you know, now we're gonna see a competition series that centers around this world that people love. And there's another Fantastic Beast coming in the next year or so.
I was gonna say, you put those elements of a sentence together, it's like, who isn't excited about that? Harry Potter, Helen Mirren, that's going to be simulcast on many different properties, but also streamed on HBO Max to bring it full circle. But let's talk about something else that I love to talk about besides Helen Mirren, The Bachelor. I think you guys all know at home by now, it is one of my favorite franchises, and this week I broke a major scoop that ABC has found its next star for season 26. Now, you probably haven't heard of him, but you might not like him because his name is Clayton. Just to make it clear though, you're the only Clayton in my life who matters. You're my one and only, okay?
There's only room for one Clayton in this world, so that's fine. I'm glad that the next Bachelor has such a strong powerful name in history. But you know, we'll see what. Do you know anything about him? What is he like?
Yeah, so I don't know what he's like yet because America hasn't actually met him yet. Here is the scoop. So Clayton Eckerd is his name. He's a former football player, played at Mizzou, 28 years old, was actually drafted by the Seattle Seahawks. According to his Instagram account, he actually refers to himself as like a washed-up football player. He's now in orthopedic sales, but he is going to be a contestant on the upcoming season of The Bachelorette starring Michelle Young. So viewers haven't actually met him yet, but I hear producers fell in love with him, but the studio and the network, they declined to comment, but I trust my sources.
My quick take as the top-ranked Clayton is that we wish the second-ranked Clayton well, and hopefully brings a lot of controversy and great ratings for the Bachelor franchise.
But there's only room.
There's only room for
one Clayton. Case
exactly.
closed.
But now we move to something that we knew about Latinos. Latinos are not in the movies. And I mean in the movies, in Hollywood movies. A survey came out, a lot of numbers. Latinos represent less than 5% of speaking parts in all films over the last 13 years. There are a lot of numbers in this study. Again, a lot of things that we knew because we don't see Latinos in movies. But 6 Afro-Latinos in a 13-year span had lead or co-lead roles in movies. Of 51,000 characters that were examined in this period, less than 5% had speaking parts. Not even leads, just speaking parts. Eva Longoria said something very profound when she was speaking with Variety about it. She says, we have all studios doing the hot trend diversity, throwing around, you have a separate department, but all they're doing is doing a press release, doing a checkbox, but it's not leading to jobs. And if you don't see that happening, then what is this for? It's just lip service. So studios, get it together.
Yep.
Let's get Latinos in movies. We're here and we're not invisible.
My take is obviously inclusion and representation is so important, but if we're talking about the business, right? Let's just talk about the business of Hollywood. If executives haven't learned anything, these movies, they make money. You just spoke about Shang-Chi, killing it at the box office. Black Panther, enough with Latino movies, Black movies. They are movies for everyone. And they make money. I mean,
Appreciate your love. Thank you. We need allies on both sides.
we absolutely do. We're all here for each other. Well, we are going to end this episode of The Take with a sad story. Hollywood lost a comedic legend. Norm Macdonald, the SNL star and comedian, died at the age of 61 after privately battling cancer for nearly a decade. When this news broke, first of all, everybody was so shocked. In our newsroom, we couldn't believe it because it came out of nowhere. Nobody even knew that Norm was sick.
For you to battle cancer privately, and we saw this with Chadwick Boseman last year, how much do people need to love you to keep that a secret and not leak that anywhere? And it just shows that the love for him was deep within the industry, deep within his fan base. He's going to be missed in this industry. It's a big loss.
Absolutely. I mean, a life lost too soon. Of course, our thoughts are with his family, his loved ones, all of his fans. But as I said, we look forward to seeing how the Emmys do honor Norm Macdonald. And by the way, Clayton, we have a special episode of The Take coming up. We're going to be talking about the Emmys. The Emmys are Sunday, so make sure to be back right here. Monday morning, we will have everything for you guys about the 2021 Emmys right here on The Take.
Thanks for watching.